On today's episode, we're answering the question, no, we're not, because I'm on the wrong damn outline.
You're reading my mind because I was already going there. I would, and this is for a lot of products, but I would definitely host a 5-day challenge and or what Allison and I call a 3x or 4x webinar series, which is 3 or 4 webinars, pretty much back to back to back, that help you sell. Those have a benefit, like a whole bunch of benefits. They create connection, they identify your ideal client, they help get your message out, they showcase you as a speaker, they create amazing content, and also they can generate a ton of sales. Webinars, I think, and people can agree or disagree, but webinars, even, I'm in my 9th year, Allison's in her 15th year or 13th year, webinars still sell. And they're still a great vehicle. That's what I would do.
And see, I would probably go a more automated route because it's a lower price point. Maybe I would even throw a free month of that $20 a month membership into the VIP.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Right. So, and then I would maybe use the summit as creating that buzz and lead right into the launch of this membership on social and through email to my summit attendee list. Hey, come check it out, grab a free week. Right. So I would go less in depth from like webinar, although I do think that those can convert really well for a low price program. The key there, and a really good segue to our next type of sale, the key there is, do you have the audience to show up, like to get a ton of webinar registrants so that you have a lot of webinar attendees so that you're making more than 1 or 2 sales on that webinar? You want to make sure that you're leveraging your time as well. So if your audience is not huge, then webinars to sell a low ticket program is probably not the best use of your time.
I disagree.
Okay, talk to me about that.
So I think that webinars, regardless of the product size and or your audience size, are still an amazing sales vehicle. And although you're saying it may not be the best use of your time, I think it is, because what it does is it allows people to connect with you versus just an email sequence where they don't get to see you on video and connect with you more deeply or ask questions or get into a Q&A kind of situation, which I love webinars to be. Me, I like them to be interactive and not just talking at, but talking with. So I think I never see that those connection points are a waste of time because they build more trust and understanding and things. I understand why you say that. I like to keep doing those connection points. I mean, in the beginning, I did webinars where 20 people registered and 1 person showed up. But if I could sell that 1 person, I was happy.
I don't disagree with you on that. I think that this is all, we're having a real conversation here. This is all stuff that you have to consider when it's, what am I going to sell? And a lot of times when we talk to our clients, it's, let's look at what is going to generate the revenue now, the most revenue right now, and then look at the other stuff, the lower price stuff later. And so if we go again all the way back to the drawing board and say, what am I going to offer? Mm-hmm. Maybe instead of saying I'm going to do my $20 a month membership, now I'm going to go ahead and do a higher ticket, one-on-one type of customized or group coaching program that leads into that membership or something like that. So if I say I can expect to, based on my list size, and we should talk about those kind of numbers too, but I can expect to sell X units of whatever product. Mm-hmm. Is that going to be financially viable for me?
Yes, I understand what you're saying now. I think I misunderstood you a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I think I thought you were thinking it was, wasting my time to do webinars, but I understand you now that if you don't have the right amount of people on your list with the percentage that you think you could sell to, than selling.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, I get it now, Allison. All right, I'm on board with you.
Yeah, like if I can expect 100 registrants to a webinar, let's call it a 25% show up rate because that's pretty
Same.
much
Yeah.
what you're looking at. So 25 people on a webinar. If I know consistently from my webinars that I get a 40% conversion rate, which is fantastic, I'm looking at 10 people at
But it,
$20 a month.
yeah,
Is that the best use of my time? I can't answer that for you, but it's
yeah.
something to consider.
Yeah, okay. I totally agree with that because if money is not the word like the worry, then having three webinars where you sell 10 people each, now you have, 30 people in your webinar at $20 a month is obviously not going to pay all the bills if money is a thing, right? So that's where you have to look at those one-on-one programs. And we've had these discussions before. The most amount of money is going to be made on the one-to-one or the DFI, like the done for you services and stuff like that. Now, I've launched a membership and it wasn't the end all be all that I thought it would be. And I learned a lot of lessons from doing it and I ended up closing it. But definitely would say that you have to take a look at your numbers. And when you're doing a summit, that can be a challenge because you don't know the metrics yet, which is leads me to my point that I really like to talk about is data. So we want to get as much data from the people that attend your summit as possible. Now, when we get them to register, all we're asking for is first name and email. And we're not changing that. We don't want you to go to asking for their first name, email, phone number, how many years of business have you been in, what's your average, blah, blah, blah. Like we don't want that stuff on an opt-in form because it impedes the opt-in. But once they're in your email, pipeline, getting more data is essential. And we get data points by getting people to make micro decisions, micro choices, yes or no. And if you're using ActiveCampaign, you can do things like one clicks. So in an email, you can say, hey, so glad that you were on the summit. Just let us know what kind of information would be most helpful to you. Would you like to hear about copywriting, done for you services, or product generation? And if they click it, whatever that, and if they click whatever, because you make them clickable, then it adds a tag to their profile in your email marketing system that says, interested in copywriting, interested in DFI, interested in whatever. And then you can create these wonderful segments that you can start now emailing for those specific things. And I could go down the road deeply with data because I love it. But that is just even a little bit of that would make a huge difference because then you can start making sure that you're putting the right offer in front of the right person.
I think it's also really important to look at data that you already have. And so I saw this on, I think it was Instagram, talking about list segmentation. And I thought it was a really interesting concept, but about understanding that the people who are new to your list, and I know this, but I don't think of it in regards to summits because brain block or whatever, but people who are new to your list who have met you because of your event are going to need different types of care than the people who already knew you and came because of that. So you can't lump all of your summit attendees into one box and treat them the same. So your brand new people are going to need a welcome and indoctrination sequence. Your people that have already been there, they already know you. They don't need that. So they can be delivered different stuff, whether that's direct to sales or just throw them right into the regular nurture until you have a launch or personal invitations or whatever. That's data you already have. You don't have to ask them for that. You can tell. Did they sign up? Just is the only thing they have the summit tag. If the answer is yes, they're brand new to you, treat them as such.
Yes, emphatically yes. The problem that we see, Allison and I see, and I don't want to use this word, because it seems very negative, but there's almost a bit of a laziness like, oh, I know I should, but I don't. And there's many reasons why you may or may not do it. Maybe you don't know how, which is a valid point. And so you need to find somebody who can help you with that segmentation. Or,
I'm going to just interrupt and say, I say this. I say this and I do this for a living.
Yeah. Because it's a
Okay,
pain. I
so
mean, there's a bit of a pain in
it's
the
a
ass to
pain
do
in
it.
the tuchus.
It's a pain in the butt to do it. It's a pain in
Because
the
you got now
butt, but
you got to
yeah.
design two separate experiences, and dang it, you want me to plan a summit and now I have to design, I can barely design one experience. So I'm just telling you exactly, I feel you. So if you're this person and you're like, you know what, I know I should, but I'm not gonna, know that you're not alone. I get you. And maybe try one thing.
Uh,
What is wrong with us? We have the giggles.